It's day 254 of the Zohar Pshat. We're on Daf Chav Ches on the base with the paragraph that begins at the Bakach Neishnehem after the Chet of Adam Rishon and Chava. So the Zohar immediately applies this to Bnei Yisrael in Mitzrayim. V'du Yisrael Kiarumim Heim. Of course, the positive was referring to Adam and Chava. They knew they were naked. Betuna the Mitzrayim. As the Derech Emet says, Peish b'chomesh Mitzrayim shalem avodas parach. They were bereft when they were involved in avodas parach Mitzrayim. Down below Raisa, they had no Torah. Being Bru had said vat eram ba'arya. They were bereft. They were naked of mitzvos, and they needed to have mitzvos in order to be redeemed. Eov begin to amar shnei zman zimne. Eov on this account said twice, Arm yotzasi betin imi. I came out naked from my mother's stomach. Shama, and we'll go back naked there as well. So the Zohar applies that to Moshe Rabbeinu. Madahava Moshe, that which was Moshe, Yisapich Erev Rav, changed by an account of Erev Rav Shama, which thanks to Sulam, I realized that Shamah is the letters of Moshe, and the letters are reversed. The Shamah Shina means something astonishing in a negative sense, and something derogatory. And it's in the Tochacha in Pashas B'chukosa is in Tochacha Dvarim, Tochacha in Vayikra. Leisa Mashal Shamah Mashal Lishnina. So the Erev Rav changes Moshe to Shamah, and that refers to two times when the Erev Rav is active against us. The time of the actual Midbar, and the time in the last Golus when the characteristics of Erev Rav will be so widespread. V'yu Omar, and I skipped that. Ashuv Shamah, and as he says, Zohar says, I will return there. That's the second part of your statement. That refers not to the birth of the nation, which was in the Mitzrayim, but rather refers to the Osid. The Erev Rav is going to come back among us, B'Galusa Basra, in the last Golus. It's going to come among us to create the Shama. In other words, to take Moshe and turn it to Shama. Of course, all the curses of the Ikvus of the Mashiach at the end of Pshat Sota and Besnei and all that. That refers to the Shama, the astonishing desolation which is wrought by the presence of the Erev Rav or the Erev Rav's characteristics. V'yu Omar, and Eov said, Hashem nasam, Hashem lokach, Hashem gave and Hashem took, Yishem Hashem mivarach. Whatever the situation is, we have to be connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and realize HaKadosh Baruch Hu is just, and Hashem has His plans, even though it's very difficult sometimes to see them, especially for Am Yisrael in Mitzrayim, and they're under tremendous oppression, and for us in our situation today, when it seems like there's very little emes and very complete sheker in the world. We have to have, nevertheless, trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It was in these baru train luchin daraisa, Raisa Dal Peh, and when the two luchos were created, the Torah itself and the Torah Shabbat Peh, they are the fig leaves, which are woven together in order to provide a cover for Adam Rishon, but they were cover for Am Yisrael. Iskasu b'kama klipim me'erev Rav, begin me'eruvim heim. So it's an amazing statement. The Am Yisrael became covered with several klipos in the Erev Rav, and these klipos were like nakedness. It was Am Yisrael Be'etzim is not naked, but it's mitzvahs. Am Yisrael is very, very rich in mitzvahs. The Poshe Yisrael, Mleim, Schlios Karima, right? Even the criminals in Am Yisrael have many, many merits, but there's a layer of nakedness which covers the layer of significance, and that comes to the Erev Rav, and that obviously is corruption, which corrupts, and therefore it's kaviyachol nakedness, and for that we need to have a cover, which is able to actually work against that nakedness. Again, Iskas Kamkim Erev Gin Ki Aruim Heim Lois Galur Vasayu, since Kisuya Dilhon and the covering is a fascinating thing. Can't be tzitzis to tefillin. They're the corners of tzitzis and the tzuos of the tefillin. In other words, these mitzvos are mitzvahs which take place literally on the garments of Bnei Yisrael, but they're supposed to remind us of Kodesh Baruch Hu, of our connection to Kodesh Baruch Hu, of not to sin, all the simple meanings of tzitzis and tefillin. And concerning them, Itmar, Vayas Hashem Kim Ladam Yishto Kosnos Or Vayal B'Yishem. It says Kosnos Or, he gave them garments of or of hides and gave them. That's for the tefillin. Avagabi tzitzis Yisrael Leitena. Tzitzis are not made out of leather; they are referenced by the fig leaves. Vayaslem Chagros or well. That's the fig leaves. And an additional thing, V'yasan chaguros, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made from the belts, Da'yu chagor char b'cha al yerach gibor. That's why not referring to actual garments, but it's referring to the sword, Cher pipios b'yodam, that sword of the Shma. That's the Shma, the Itmar Bey, Romamos kel bigonam, Cher pipios b'yodam. V'dahi v'yas lohem chaguros, and that is the belts. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave Am Yisrael tools in order to cover the nakedness of the Erev Rav. They are the Tzitzis, Tefillin, and Shma. And by utilizing Tzitzis, Tefillin, and Shma properly, the person who's confronted with the characteristic negative traits of the Erev Rav is able to combat them and overcome them. It's interesting, just on kind of like a tangent, those are all mitzvahs which are not shaykh to women, which lends credence to the assumption that women don't need the same type of tikkun which men need. That men were evidently more affected by the characteristic traits of the Erev Rav than women, and therefore the men need these tools in order to deal with all that impact. And obviously the Erev Rav character traits distract one from Kodesh Baruch Hu, do not distract one from mitzvahs, tempt one to Averos, and these are all tools which are used to fight the Yetzer Hara. Tzitzis is explicit in the Torah, fights the Yetzer Hara. The Tefillin is not as explicit, but it's obvious that creates the Yiras Hashem, and that's why I wrote Kol Meretz Kishem Hashem Nikor Lecha V'Yor Mimeka Elu Tefillin Shebarosh, that the Tefillin help to generate Yiras Hashem. And the Kriyashma, of course, if the Yetzer Hara affects you, then if you have all the Eitzes, right? Well, the first Eitzah is to say Shma. Not the first one, I think it's the second one. But one of the Eitzes is to say Shma. So the idea is that all these things combat the Yetzer Hara of the Erev Rav. And we'll stop here for today.